Good day traders, and welcome to the Forex Board Trading Academy. In today's video we will be looking at the New Zealand versus the Canadian dollar currency pair. But before we get started, I would like to remind you that information in this video is for educational purpose only and should not be considered as the financial advice. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do it right away to follow our data analysis, educational videos, as well as live trade examples that we do every single week. Let's get started with the New Zealand Canadian dollar price action on the 4-hour time frame, which you can see right there at the top. The first important thing here is the break below the uptrend trend line and break below the moving average, 50 exponential moving average. So this is the first sign of the potential bearish scenario. So we can expect the continuation of the downtrend. After price broke the trend line, there was a correction and we had yet another rejection of the exponential moving average. Along with it, we had a clean bounce of the 23.6 pips at 0.9065. You can see it right there. It seems like we had this break and close above, although on the daily time frame there was no break above this resistance. Besides, here we can also see that there was a rejection of the trend line, which is acting now as the resistance after the breakout. In regards to the potential downside move, we have fips applied to the previous correction. Here we have two levels, 78.6 and 88.6. The first support corresponds to the 50 exponential moving average, because if price will decline or start to decline, we will most likely meet this moving average, and this makes it a very strong support as well. The support is located at 0.8960. So this is the first key support level to watch. And if we go back to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that there was already a double rejection of this level previously. So there is a strong supply zone, and it must be watched because price could be declining towards this level and then continuing to go up. But the continuation of the downtrend can only take place as long as this high holds, because if price will manage to break higher, I think the double top will be the case. But as long as it's below, we should expect the correction down. So we had this first support at 89.60. Now the second support is located at 0.8916. This is based on 78.6 fips that we had on the daily time frame, and we have also applied fips to the breakout point of this uptrend trend line. So the 50% is on the breakout point, which shows us where could be the final downside target for this correction. And it shows that 0% fips corresponds to 78.6 fips, and both of them are located at 0.8915 area. And this fips basically shows that the distance from the top to the breakout point usually equals to the distance after the breakout point to the downside target. So this is the final downside target for this move. And if price will manage to break lower, then this could be the confirmation that the trend is in fact becoming bearish, and this is not just a correction but a trend reversal. Therefore, it is very important to watch this support level for rejection or the breakout. And also back to the resistance we had at 0.9065, we can see that there was resistance, support, resistance, resistance. This is a huge supply demand area, and previously we had multiple bounces off it. This time there was a potential breakout. I think a lot of people got out of the sell positions because of the close above, although daily closing price showed that this resistance remains valid and we should expect the continuation of the downtrend. And finally, recent price action shows that the 50 exponential moving average is acting as the resistance as well. And after the last rejection, we had a new lower low produced, and this is the reason there could be an acceleration in the downside move. There could be more sellers stepping in, resulting in a fast price decline, which might take place throughout this and maybe the beginning of the next week. So overall, I would expect around 100 pip drop from the current price, 105, or if we go towards the nearest support, that will be approximately 60 pips. And this is it on the New Zealand Canadian dollar. Let's move to other currency pairs that we analyzed previously. Starting off Australian versus the New Zealand dollar. So here, still expecting the correction should take place at some point in time, because we also had the analysis for the New Zealand dollar. We're also expecting the correction down. We will get back to it in a second. It's a long-term uptrend, but this cycle is very important. We should be watching whether the price will be at the bottom or at the top by the end of the month, because if it will be at the bottom, there could be a good opportunity for buyers, or if it will be at the top, it could be a good opportunity for the sellers. In either case, this will be an important timing for the Australian dollar. Pound dollar consolidating. Well, I do expect continuation of the uptrend. So here, as long as we hold above this level, it should be an uptrend continuation. If price will break lower, at least 1 or 2 pips, I will invalidate this analysis, because it will most likely continue going down. But for now, as long as it holds, it's an uptrend. Well, same basically for the euro dollar, where we expect the continuation of the uptrend and potentially towards the beginning of the next cycle, which is at the end of the month. So this could be the dollar weakness continuation across the board, and same for the pound versus the dollar. Pound Australian dollar looking good, pretty bullish, so we will keep on watching that. I think this should be a fast uptrend, so still analysis remain valid. Pound Japanese yen, the picture is not that clear, although we will see what will be happening. I don't like actually that the price spiked below this support level, but all in all, we had the rejection of the moving average. You can see there was a clean bounce of the EMA. This level hasn't been tested. So this is the key support, and as long as it holds, we should be heading north. Pound Swiss franc. While I do expect and I do think that we will see a huge uptrend, I will not be following this analysis, because initially I was looking for this support to hold, and I will simply close the chart and will follow it if there will be a new opportunity that I will see more clearly, because we did break below the support. No point in following it from my perspective. Pound Canadian dollar is also an interesting thing, because we did break and close below the trend line, and there is a potential Canadian dollar strength which might push price lower, because we just had analysis on the New Zealand Canadian dollar, and we also had analysis on other Canadian pairs, all suggesting the strength of the Canadian dollar. So because of that, I'm also invalidating, because there is a risk price did break below the trend line, and well, it should be going up from what I see, but at this point in time there is a range trading, and I will close the chart. We will follow it if there will be anything interesting. The euro versus pound is the same. We broke above the key resistance that I was watching, and while I do expect a strong move down, I will invalidate it, because we actually broke below this resistance that I was watching, so no point in following that. The euro dollar, we just looked, so it's an uptrend continuation, and I think it could be the case that price will continue rising. Canadian Japanese yen, strong Canadian dollar could be pushing price towards one of the resistance levels. I do still think there is a potential for this currency pair, because we broke the previously made high. We broke this high and this high, so this resistance area has been broken. Nonetheless, there is another resistance which is at 81.90, but I think it's just a matter of time before price goes higher. Canadian Swiss franc, very interesting here. I do think there's a good perspective for this upside move. You can see that currently EMA is acting as the support along with the downtrend trend line, which was broken previously and now is looking to be the support. Also, the 50% FIBs acting as the support, so there are multiple support indicators, and as long as they hold, this should be an uptrend. I think it will start from today, maybe tomorrow, but all in all, this looks pretty bullish to me. Australian New Zealand dollar, also a bullish trend. At the end of the month, the new cycle starts, and I think throughout this month, the price will be rising non-stop, so there could be a consistent uptrend. Nonetheless, guys, there could be a correction as well. It's very possible that the price will correct potentially towards this green support area before it continues up, and maybe instead of price being at the top by the end of the month, it could be at the bottom. It could be right there. So there could be this correction, and this could be the beginning of the bullish cycle. New Zealand versus the dollar. So here we're starting to decline. I do expect the correction to take place on the New Zealand dollar, and overall New Zealand dollar does look very weak. We just looked at the Australian New Zealand dollar, which seems to be up. New Zealand dollar seems to be down, and the New Zealand versus the Japanese yen also down. So this could be the weakness of the New Zealand dollar. This is just a short-term downside move that I would expect from the New Zealand dollar on multiple currency pairs, including Australia, New Zealand US dollar, New Zealand Japanese yen, and New Zealand Canadian dollar. So there are 4 pairs suggesting that the New Zealand dollar could be weak. And we are getting back now to the analysis that we made today. New Zealand Canadian dollar. So here, same, we expect the short-term price decline. It's not a trend reversal at this point, but just a correction, and it could be 100 pip drop in price during this or next week. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, submit your like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell to follow our daily videos. Thank you all, and I wish you profits.